Hello again, my name's Gabe Zolna. You know, I've given you this definition before in one of my videos, but I thought I'd do it again since I believe I do have a number of new subscribers. And the term that I'm going to identify is the word treason. Now, a person commits the crime of treason if he levies war against a state or country, or sides to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Treason is a crime under federal and some state laws. Treason is made a high crime punishable by death under federal law by Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Quote, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Now, let me ask you a question. If the President of the United States provides, I don't know, let's say $5 billion to a country that is sort of dubious, like in the Middle East, like Qatar, and if our government also releases 5 known terrorists that were detained at Guantanamo, would you consider that to be an act of treason? We're talking $5 billion. And they did that to bring back a traitor that has been identified as being a traitor in his own words based on written information he left when he deserted his post in a war zone. Now, we still haven't heard what the military tribunal has ruled in regard to their investigation of Bowie Bergdahl. That is the individual that Barack Hussein Obama traded and gave $5 billion, billion dollars, not $1 million, for his safe return, when a number of individuals that were stationed with him in the field of battle said he deserted. This is the same individual that soldiers that went to try to rescue him, some of them died during the process. And this is the same government that said we don't negotiate to pay ransom for anyone. And that's in regard to the beheadings that we all witnessed, if in fact they even took place. So, we have a President of the United States that's actually committed countless crimes of treason, because he's given hundreds of billions of dollars, I believe, to the enemies of the United States. There was talk that he gave Mohamed Morsi, I think, $8 billion. That's when Mohamed Morsi was in power as the president of Egypt, which Hillary Rodham Clinton helped bring about when they created the Arab Spring. It's totally insane. So the question that I have is, how is it that Barack Hussein Obama isn't arrested by the Sergeant of Arms and put on trial for having committed treason? Giving the enemies of the United States $8 billion sure goes a long way to help them fund their war against the United States, does it not? It allows them to buy ammunition, weapons, and to recruit, does it not? Who in their right mind would give anyone anything for someone like Bowie Bergdahl? Yet they allow other journalists to be executed because they won't pay a ransom. Does that make any sense to you? It makes zero sense to me. I'm going to attach a link that you're going to be able to see where Bill O'Reilly has conversations with a couple of retired military personnel, and they substantiate what I've said in this video in regard to the $5 billion, in regard to the trade of the 5 radical extremist Muslims, the worst of the worst in Guantanamo. You have to ask yourself a question. How many people have died trying to capture those people to begin with? And how many people have died because Barack Hussein Obama has released them back to the battlefield? How many young girls or young boys have been raped by these savages? It's completely insane. You know, I've said this countless times in many of my videos. You couldn't write a book where anyone would believe this to be nothing other than a fiction. You can't imagine in your wildest dreams that we have someone that we know nothing about, that was supposedly vetted by Nancy Pelosi. How can she have vetted someone we know nothing about? It's completely insane. Do I think America will ever recover from this insanity? Ask yourself that question. And what conclusion do you come to? That's probably the same one that I come to.